There is an emptiness that suffocates everyone in the classroom. The missing student has been noticed, but the reason is unclear. The hostile blonde has missed class 2 days in a row. It's not like him to go under the radar without a heads up. Usually, he'll text me or the others, but he's silent. LN, do you mind checking on Bakugou after class? Mina taps my shoulder after whispering. I turn my head so I can see her better. Her black and yellow eyes connect with mine. Why can't you? I huff. Somehow, it's always me who ends up looking for Bakugou after one of his fits. Mostly because he'd never hurt me. Something inside him won't let him. It was comforting, but also concerning. We all kinda got detention because Denki wanted to sneak out past curfew. Her face turns a darker shade of pink, embarrassment written on her face. I groan, slumping over. Fine, but you owe me. She grins, dropping a hand on my shoulder. I've memorized his dorm number by heart after many fights. His door is littered with burn marks that he never meant to create. The handle's charred at the end from his power. It's haunting how quiet the halls are after hours. Everyone is either asleep or doing homework. I push down the sudden feeling of terror. It runs through my body for a second, before settling in my stomach as my knuckles hit the door. The sound of knocking fills the warm air. Bakugou? I call out soft enough to not disturb the others. There is no answer, sending a chill down my spine. This feels like a horror movie. I should probably head back to my dorm, but my gut is telling me something isn't right. So, I push on the handle and slowly open the door. Surprisingly, it isn't locked like usual, a bad sign. I crack the door open, peeking to make sure I'm not interrupting anything. Bakugou? I call out once more. A muffled cough is all I need to enter the room, my eyes scanning the dark area. His things are roughed up, and clothes are still on the floor. It's unusual because he prefers a clean room. I turn to see his bed, covers blocking my view of the blonde. I stumble over his things, making my way to his side. I nearly trip over a book he's left out. Luckily, we're getting balance. I sit on his bed, right next to him. Hesitantly, I place a hand on his side, taking in his trembling figure. His chest rises with a sharp breath, before dropping harshly. His breathing is loud, clogged by something. Bakugou, are you alright? There's no answer, prompting me to roll back the covers. At first, I don't notice a dark blob forming around the covers that touch his mouth. After a bit longer, it hits me that he's bleeding from the mouth. Bakugou! I strike, pulling his body close to my chest, his head resting on my shoulder. His eyes flutter open, unable to comprehend everything. They focus on me, taking in my features to recognize me. I check the area I was sleeping to make sure he's not injured anywhere else. The sight of purple petals, covered in blood, stuffed down his sheets freezes time. I've only heard of this disease a few times in my life, never believing in its properties. Flowers can grow inside of a person's body unless someone has a quirk like that. It's impossible for them to survive inside an organ. It just doesn't make any sense. But here he is, suffering from the same disease that I refused to believe in. Life really had its way to be ironic, didn't it? Bakugou nuzzles his face into the crook of my neck. Inhaling deeply, it takes me aback, making me blink in surprise. But he's probably out of it. He doesn't know what he's doing, so I'll allow him at this moment to get closer now. Not like I would mind this if the circumstances were different. Should I get BNHA? I whisper. Bakugou opens his eyes, an unreadable emotion hidden in his irises. The movement, he shakes his head suddenly, the movement sending more coughs out. Blood drips down his chin. As a bottle sticks to his lap, I use my sleeve to wipe it off, as disgusting as it sounds. But I know he'd do the same. He used to use his shirt as a bandage when I got hurt, so it's only fair. Is it not? I've never seen him so vulnerable and soft. I'd consider us close, since we know each other's secrets. But, to be honest, he's never shown this side to me, as much as I try to get him to. He probably does that with me now. But I can't get upset about that. He's known her for a bit longer, and besides, Bakugou was sick, and I should be worried about him, not about my own selfish desires. Later, Bakugou, you have to get the surgery, Mina urges. Her eyes filled to the brim with tears. Just from that sentence alone, I know she doesn't feel the same about him. He's in love with her, and that's why he's suffering. It's her fault. At least I want it to be. You'll die without it. What about the side effects? You'll never feel love again. You'll lose part of what makes us human. Bakugou is quiet for a few moments, then speaks. What do you think, Ellen? Bakugou croaks, his voice almost gone. I can't think of a response. Do I tell him to risk dying or lose the greatest feeling in the world? It's an impossible choice, but if I had to be selfish. The surgery. His face remains blank, taking in my answer. See? Even Ellen agrees. You have to do it. You can't die on us. Dinky jumps in, a sob escaping his lips. Bakugou isn't fazed by their emotional outbursts. His eyes still locked onto me. I wonder if he's trying to tell me something. Deep inside, his dreamy eyes and down to his heart, a message rests. I'd never hear it. I'm not the one he wants. I'm not the one who gets rest in his sparking heart. Because Mina got there first. But even if I met him before her, he'd still choose her. I'll get the surgery.